A stream of Upanishad. Of course, Upanishad is always quite, which we can look forward to every week, particularly this Upanishad. As we will see, how this Upanishad, precedes the lot of concepts given in the earlier Upanishad, which we have seen, as well as in other Upanishads. Particularly Bhagavad Gita, we have already explained, and most of the mantras have been taken as it is from Upanishad into the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, what is the difference between the mantras which has come in Kathopanishad, as we like to call, because it is a Kataka Samhita. It is also part of Taittiriya Samhita of the Veda. So the mantras, this is called Auparushaya. Whatever is in the Kathopanishad, it is not just a man-made, because it is Auparushaya. It has been realized intuitively by the great, the rishis and acharyas. The Kataka Samhita, Kataka is also a rishi, and it is also a part of the Taittiriya Samhita. That's why Mahaparival used to say in Taittiriya Samhita is the shortest Samhita in the Veda. So you used to say, at least, you do it as a part of Taittiriya Samhita, at least you would have a sort of satisfaction of having one Samhita to your credit. Because to know one Samhita itself is a very great effort in Vedic Adhyayana. That's what Mahaparival used to advise everyone, it seems. So taking that, it is Auparushaya, in the sense these are all the original Shrutis which has come. Bhagavad Gita was then brought into the human knowledge by Vyasa, Krishna Dvaipayana. When he wrote Mahabharata, it became part of the Mahabharata, and it became, the well known as a Bhagavad Gita as a chapter itself in discussion with Arjuna and Krishna. That was Paurushaya. That was Paurushaya. When he has brought the essence of all the Upanishads together. That's why Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be the essence of all the Upanishads. With the brief, just to get into the concept of the Upanishad as well as the Bhagavad Gita, just to bring about. Now we will just go into the Upanishad per se. Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha. Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvotaya Stititolaya Niyati Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Sakkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Mati Prabhudan Vadan Nirasya Kritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Ananda Tirthamunivayam Namami Pujjaya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrikshaya Namatam Kamadhenuvim Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Friends, as we resume our Kathopanishad or Kathopanishad, as we have been calling it, part of Taittiriya Samhita, we have seen, just for the continuity's sake, because we have seen two varas has been asked by Nachiketa. One is that his father should be he should be so generous and he should accept him as his own son with the same love and affection what he had before he left the body and came into the vicinity of Yama to get the highest knowledge. I think this is one particular, this is ambivalence, which normally when so many people explain the Kathopanishad, it will come, whether he has left the body and the soul has gone, the body has been kept as it is. So when you leave the body, which we can see, it cannot stand for a long time, because it will start decaying. After all, it has to decay, because it is the property of it. But before it decays, he comes back and all. See, another concept that is being gone about is, when you are in the body, you've got the three stages, which we have seen in Mandukya Upanishad: Jagrata Avastha, Swapnavastha, Sushmavastha. All the three are possible when you are having the body, mind and intellect together working in this world. When we talked about Turiya, Turiya is a welcome, Mr. Narayanan. So we have just commenced. The Turiya, when we go into that, you are transcending all the Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana and Shushupta Sthana. So here the concept that has been given, by the explanation, it is his vision, once he has transcended the Laya center, he has crossed over, this Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana and Shushupta Sthana. He is into the sthana where he is Turiya, the highest stage, where he doesn't have any bodily desires, raga, dvesha, everything beyond that. He has gone out. Because there is no sort of, he doesn't have any wrong concept of anything. He doesn't have any avidya. As long as you have avidya, as long as you have got the desire, you are supposed to be having the avidya. When you are having the desire and ambition, which is taking over all your action, you are supposed to be having the avidya. Once you don't have this avidya, when you are crossed over and you are transcending into the Turiya stage, and where you are closer to, you are already become a mukta. You want to get the highest knowledge. You become, your eligibility is there, your yogyata is there. That is that. It is a vision, which you have got. He has transcended. The body may still be there, but he has transcended. So the bodily existence doesn't have any meaning to him. He has gone into the Yama's vicinity to get the highest knowledge. And this Upanishad is very, very sort of, it is not a conventional Upanishad in terms. We have got said, 6 vallis are there, 2 parts are there, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 has got 3 vallis and part 2 has got 3 vallis. We have got 119 mantras are there in the entire Kathopanishad. And we are concentrating the first valli where we are having 29 mantras. We are concentrating more intensely into this. This is going to be the foundation or bulwark on which the entire Upanishad knowledge is being built upon. When we are trying to find that entire knowledge that's being built upon into this Upanishad and all, in the third valli of the first part itself, they are giving Palashruti. Normally, a Palashruti is given at the end of the entire Upanishad, because after doing that, this is what you will get by having this knowledge and all. How you will be able to get whatever you desire. You are not supposed to be having any desire, once you come into this Nachiketa Agni and all. But whatever you are supposed to be getting, because of the Yogyata eligibility, you will be getting. That Palashruti is there in the third valli itself. We will see that. In fact, as we are going about the explanation of the few of the mantras coming forth today, we possibly will be referring to the other vallis also. Even they are going to come yet. In spite of it, we will be taking reference to those vallis to bring about. So basically, when Nachiketa has reached Yamaloka, he has crossed over. Since we have seen the Mandukya Upanishad, it is easy for us to understand. He has crossed all the Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana and Shushupta Sthana. He has gone into the last stage of transcended to the Turiya stage. So for him, these things doesn't matter at all. That is the vision he is having, in which the Yama is testing him and trying to give the knowledge, which is the rarest of rare, which he has not given anyone, because he found no one eligible to get this knowledge. So it's not that he didn't give, because on his own volition, because as if, he doesn't have any ahankara, anything, like he wants to give it, but there is no one good enough or fit enough to take it. So that is how Nachiketa fits into the bill, and he comes here and try to get the knowledge and all. This is exactly, how we have started with the last few mantras. Just for the connecting, for the recap, we'll just mantra number 1.1.16, though we have seen in detail, just briefly will say, this is in your page 21 of your the document which I have sent. Tam abravit priyamano mahatma varam tave iha adya dadami bhuyaha. So that when he has said to him, Nachiketa, you are so priyamano, you have become so sort of, I am able to just not be keep but admiring you. Priyamano, Mahatma, you have become such a high soul I have not come across so far. The Mahatma, when Mahatma Gandhi was given this title by Mahatma, it is by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, when he used the word Mahatma, he has taken it from this Upanishad only. This Upanishad, when it states, he is the one who has crossed all the borders of desire, ambition, because Mahatma Gandhi never wanted to be, because heading the country or commanding this one and all. He just wanted to bring the spirit of patriotism in every being, whether he is in a village or whether he is in the remote corner of the country. That's how. So after seeing that, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, he is the one who gave him the title of Mahatma. That has come from this particular mantra only. Tam abravit priyamano Mahatma varam tav tavehadya dadami bhuyaha. See, because once you are given, I am giving you the one more, the bonus vara to you, because you have got priyamano and you have absorbed it so well. Taveva namna bhavatiyat agnihi. Taveva namna bhavati. I am Agni. Bhavatiya evam Agni. Bhavatya eva Agni. In the sense, this Agni will henceforth be known by your name only. Bhavitaha. It will have to be. It has to be taken as your by your name only. Your Agni, because it's so become important, because the quality of yours is so difficult to attain. If someone has to attain and get this, it cannot be but the same quality as yours. He doesn't define what the quality, because he has already tested him enough. So Namna Bhakta is Shrinkam Cheyam Aneka Rupam Grihana. Chinkam Cha Imam Aneka Rupam Grihana. Because that we said, he gave him a golden chain. That's what he said. It's a figurative. Golden chain is nothing but, he is adorable by everyone who are capable of knowing the highest knowledge in the Vedas and Upanishad. He becomes such a person. And it is also says, when he gives, I am giving you this, when he is enticing, that I am giving you a golden chain. Aneka Rupam is nothing but Bahurupam. Bahurupam is called gold. The Bahurupam has got another meaning of gold, like, because as we have been discussing in Advaita, when we say, because it's a Rupa is different, but the Atma is one. Same Atma, because Ham Brahmasmi, when we say Atma is one, but the Rupams are another. All are different as per Advaita philosophy. There it is being said, you may have a gold chain or a bangle, or you have any other golden ornaments. They are all gold, but finally the inbuilt thing into everything is gold, because it may have different forms, but the content is gold. The Atma is like that. That's how they are trying to bring about. When we are bringing about, because why it becomes so important when Yama is appreciating Nachiketa, and why it is so important is because when you are understanding it from a guru, and guru is not the one who is the guru. See, there is a particular word that is being used, samatpanihi stotriyam nishtam. So samatpanihi, in the samitpanihi, in the samit is the one, whenever you go and get the knowledge from a guru, you will have to carry the samit once you are brahmacharya, and when you have done all the duties, and when you are eligible to get the highest knowledge. He is doing always yajna and yaga and all. It is a figurative, samit. All samit you will have to take. Pani, in the sense, pani graham, when we say, pani is the hands. So samyak pani, in the sense, with the both hands you will have to offer the samit to the Agni. That is why samit panihi stotriyam brahmanishtam. The guru is the one who is stotriyam already. Not only that, he has lived up to the entire highest wisdom, brahmanishtam. He is just living by the same knowledge what has been attained by him. The highest knowledge what he has attained, he is living like that. He is the guru. So when you are going to get the highest knowledge, you will have to get same thing, samitpanihi stotriyam brahmanishtam. Because you have to go to such type of guru. Yama is such type of guru. So when you are getting, he himself is admiring, the Sishya, who is fit enough to take this knowledge and all, because you are going after a guru who is Brahmanishtam, in the sense, who is following rarest of rare, because people can get the wisdom, but they can always come down, they can slip back. As we have been explaining every time, again and all, as Shankaracharya has said, we are all walking on a banana skin with pits on either side. So we can always fall. The one who has not fallen and one who is steadfast, he is that guru. And Yama is that type of a guru, and who didn't have any opportunity to give this knowledge to anyone. That's why he was very happy, and he is giving an extra bonus for also going telling Brahma, you will be the henceforth, because the Nachiketa Agni will be known by your name only, and you got it so much and all. We are going to 1.1.7. This is what last we have explained, and we have also gone into very much detail of it. But only one word, we were to explain very detail in this, which is called Brahmajnam. That is what we will be going about. We will be going about the mantra once again. It is in the page number 22. Nachiketas Triberiyat Sandhim Trikarma Krit iti Janma Mrityuhu Brahmajnam Devamityam Viditva Nicheya Yamam Shanti Matyantameti. Nachiketaha Tribiyetya Sandhim, one who does Nachiketa fire 3 times, who gets connected with the 3. See, 3 is a very important number. See, well, that's why when we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times we say Adi Bhaudika, Adi Devika and Adhyatma. Adhyatma is the highest. When you are able to get into your internal sort of journey where you can get the Paramatma who is residing in you, you are able to get a small glimpse of it. You are able to apprehend in his presence in you. That is why the 3 is the 3rd stage is the highest. So you are going by step, Adi Bhaudika, Adi Devika and then Adhyatma. When you are coming into Adhyatma, then naturally the worldly things doesn't have any much of a meaning. Because the other thing is when you don't have much of a meaning, that you can say, you have almost reached the Adhyatma. But then, when you have still to come back, that it is, you have to go by trial and error. It's a repetitive. So repetitively you have to try and error. That is what it is. Trinachiketam Tribiya Sandhim, one who does Nachiketa first fire 3 times, who gets connected with the 3. Trikarma Krita Tarati Janma Mrityuhu. So once you have done all the karmas, see here, we will have to explain what are all the karmas. So there are 3 karmas, which we are supposed to be doing all through in our life. That's what we last time said. For our own purpose, yajna, dana and tapa are 3 karmas we are supposed to be doing. Whatever we are doing in our present sort of a position, because professional or even otherwise, whatever you have embarked upon, you are doing certain things, that is yajna. That is worldly yajna. When you are doing yajna, you are fully concentrating on that and you are doing that. So when the yajna, when you are doing, then dana. Dana is not only dana by, because Annadanam is the highest. That's what everyone has said. And Vidyadanam is the most important one, because Vidyadanam is very rare. You don't get a person who knows and who imparts the knowledge. For us also, we may find, we want to know a particular thing, but we don't get the right knowledge, the right person to give that knowledge and all. So it's by God's grace only you get that particular person who can give you the knowledge. So when we say Trinachiketram Tribirer Trinachiketa Tribiyetya Sandhim Trikarma Krit, because Trinachiketa Tribiyetya Sandhyam, when we said Tribiyetya Sandhyam, we said it is father, mother and guru, all the 3 who have imparted. That is also another figurative meaning, who mother, father and guru, because mother is the one who first give you the impulse to get the knowledge, and father takes it forward, and guru is the one finally he just takes away your ajnana and he lights up your knowledge. He is the one who gives it. He is the one, the highest among that. So likewise, it is also, we also took another figurative interpretation was, this is Rig, Yajur and Sama, 3 Vedas. Atharvana becomes part of it. When we say 3 karma krita and 3 Tribiyetya Sandhyam, 3 Vedaha, when we say 3 Veda is being, so Chaturveda, though it is being used, Chaturvedi and the title is there, but 3 Veda is normally referred to in Upanishad and Vedas. 3 Veda encompasses Atharva Veda also. Atharva Veda is nothing but the Rishi Atharva. He has taken all the saras of the right mantras, and he has given a medicinal value to that, and he has also given a lot of mystical practices. That is how the Atharvana Veda has evolved, and it was formed by the Rishi Atharva. but it is part of all the Vedas. In fact, if you, as we have discussed earlier, the entire Vedas were one and the only one existence. Veda was called as only one existence. Since the human capacity to assimilate and understand the Veda was coming down over the yugas, from the Treta Yuga to Dwapara Yuga, it is the Krishna Dvaipayana who took pity on this entire humankind, because who has to know this Apurushiya Shruti knowledge. He has divided the entire Veda into four. In fact, he made it into three and he finally made it into four, because the Atharva Rishi, whatever he has Samhitas, whatever he brought in, everything together he made the four. So this three Vedas, once you know from all the Vedas, whatever you are able to get, the fine practices, that gives you the eligibility as well as, it gives you the sort of a momentum to get to the another dimension. That is through the Vedas only. By repetitively you are doing karma, then only you become sort of eligible to get it. See, when we say yajna, whatever we are doing is yajna. But whatever we are doing in the yajna, in the sense, when we are doing with a full concentration, without ill will or fear or favor, what happens? Your chitta suddhi takes place. Because you don't have any raga, dvesha and all. You are working only on the concentratedly, working only on that particular purpose what you are doing. You are not looking into whether it is going to give you this or whether it is going to, whether you are going to have further problems and all. You are working on that. That is called yajna. Yajna is like that. And we will also see, because couple of mantras, we will be telling, what is this yajna, how, it comes from our younger days onwards. And then dana is the one automatically comes, because once you have gathered, if you are a wise person and if you are knowledgeable, you will have to give vidya dana. And if you have accumulated a lot of wealth, what you will be doing? Because dana is the one who is deserving, you will be able to give it. For instance, the Brahmins, Brahma Vidya, those who have learned, they were called Brahmins in those days. Because what is their main, the profession or job, or what is the purpose of their existence? They should not be doing anything for themselves. Even they should not be thinking about the next meal, because it was available from the society at that point of time. So they have to do whatever you are doing. And we also explained last week or week before last, even when you do Sandhya Vadanam and all, it is for the Lokakshemam. It is for the benefit of the whole world. Anything you do, it will have to be for the benefit of the whole world. If a person is trying to do something for himself, he's not a Dvija, he's not a Vipra, he's not a Brahmin. See, that is the concept at that point of time in Vedic time. Not only that, even now, because it's being said, because you may, get everything, for the comfort, what you are having, whatever necessity you are having, you will have to do that. But then, whatever you are doing, you will be doing without the selfish interest will slowly go off. To the extent, once you are having enough, because you are contented with that and you are doing it because you are giving advice, because a lot of people are taking, these honorary or voluntary positions. And they are serving the institutions, because you can become, and they are, what is that, because they get innate happiness, because they are able to contribute. It's not only that, because at this age, not that, you are employable elsewhere and all. Even if you're employed, you will not be able to do justice, because your faculties have come down. You don't have the same faculty of listening and your faculty of looking at as well as, concentrating and all have come down. So naturally, voluntarily, you will have to do it. Yajna, dana, tapaha, in the sense, you have to continuously contribute to the cause of this whole world. That is why yajna, dana, tapa. Tapa is, one which you are doing, because all the brahmacharya, because you are doing, whatever you are doing, sandhya is a tapa. Tapo yajna, because when you call sandhya, tapa, veda, sandhya, vedaha, when they say it is a tapa. Likewise, even when you are keeping yourself clean, that is a tapa. Your mind clean, that is a tapa. And not only that, you don't have any sort of crooked thoughts, that is a tapa. You got a straightforward, because maybe you will not be, you will think, you will not be able to live in this world with a straightforward approach. Doesn't matter, because others may think, because you are not practical, you don't know the world and all. But you will find the real benefit of yours really when you find it and all. See, this is what one Swamiji was telling. One very powerful man, he was almost, I think, the entire state was in his command. He's a politician and as well as he's a businessman, everything combined together and all. He came to him one day, Swamiji, I think you are going on, doing everything and all. You will have to give me a special sort of, you will have to give me a special time for me. I want to talk to you in detail. He said, look, because this is a necessity. Whatever I am doing is I am in politics. This is a necessity I have to do. I am in a business I have to do. Because wherever, you have to do everything, everyone else is doing. Otherwise, you can't be in business. So you will have to sort of camouflage, the invoices. You will have to do that. You will have to do that. Or you will have to do this. And as a politician, you will have to do 100 different things. All are not so holy and all. Unholy things only you will be doing it. I'm doing everything and all. But in the heart of hearts, I do not want to have any of these things. And I don't want to, because so much of I've accumulated so much of a papa, because I've done so many ill things. I want some redemption from this. What am I to do? Should I have to do some homa? Should I have to do something? So then this Swamiji asked him, why, because why he was so particular. At times, night I don't get the sleep. And whenever I do, it pricks my heart. Whenever I see, something, because of me, something has happened. I am responsible for that and all. So then if I go to Naraka, what happens? Because I think no one would like to go to Naraka. What is that? So he said, look, if you want to know about Naraka, in Markandeya Purana, there are 28 type of Narakas for different things, which Naraka you will go, they have specified. I can explain to you and all. But now, since you are not able to sleep and you are getting yourself, your heart is pricking, whenever you see some of the things for which you seem to be responsible. What else is this? This itself is a Naraka. You don't have to do anything and all. You just keep quiet, and you part of the politics or business. You do not initiate anything and keep yourself away from anything. You just be part of it, but don't involve in any of the activities, and just slowly come out of that. And if you can capable of doing some good, attempt it. Otherwise, don't do that also. Even if you're not doing, if you can't do good, don't do anything which is going to affect some people. Don't do that. That itself is good enough. But you don't think about Naraka and all because you are already into it. Because you are not able to sleep and you are having whole sorts of health problems and all. Don't think about it. It is like that. Tapas is when you are doing without such any ill will and all. Suppose a lot of people may give their resignation. In Lal Shastri resigned when there was a small minuscule at that time, by current standards, it's minuscule. In those days, it was a big thing. This Arielur accident, the train accident, it took place. Lal Bahadur Shastri gave his resignation. He took not only the moral responsibility to show, he took really the moral responsibility. He said, I will not come into the cabinet and all. But of course, finally he was persuaded to come to the cabinet with a different portfolio. And you said it's not that, because your talent should not go wasted. In the sense, once you have taken the responsibility, not only that, he said, if I am, see, you can also take any action as it deems fit against me. He's the one cabinet minister who was almost number 2 in the cabinet. He has voluntarily gave himself that position, as well as asked them if possible prosecute me, and that is the fit enough thing for me. So that is the rarest of rare things. Nowadays, an accident doesn't cause any resignation of even a general manager doesn't resign, not even a divisional engineer resigns. That does not. Maybe I think now that the concept is different. How you have to take over and all. So likewise, tapas is one where you are sincere, where you are grateful, and when you are trying to give the best at any circumstances. Even when you are put into problem, when you are not capable, when you have been given so much of a sort of obstructions, despite that, because some of the obstructions may be your own, because family problem may be there. Some of them may be, because of certain other things it may be there. So that is what they say, that is what, the Yajna, Dana, Tapas, the 3 qualities. Why? Because if you have that, Sa Mrityu Pashan Purataha Paronteya. Because, if he throws off all the chains of death, even before the death itself, in the sense, once you do Yajna, dana, tapas, you are not chained. It is called the Yama Pasha. See, because Yama Pasha is nothing but when you are having all these anxieties building over because you couldn't do the Yajna, dana, tapas as deemed fit for you in your position, in your life, where you are placed in. You have to do Yajna, dana, tapas as per your eligibility, as per your capacity. When you are not able to do it, that is called the Yama Pasha. So you are at the hands of Yama any point of time. Otherwise, Yama doesn't want to take people, because and take himself. He doesn't want to get to the sort of, the ill effects of, taking the right person. This is what, this mantra says. That is why, he is not able to, having come to Yamas itself, he is not able to do anything with Nachiketas because he is so pristine pure. He has gotten to a dimension which is much above everything and all. The Yajna, Dana, Tapas, everything, and he has gone beyond that. And he has gone transcended to the last stage. Shakadigi, sa mrityu pasha purataha pranodya, shokadike modate swargaloke. Shokadike modate swargaloke, when you are not having these pashas, when you are not having all the sorrows can't do anything and all, there is no sorrow. Shokadike, there is no sorrow. Modate, you will be rejoicing. Rejoicing in the sense contentment. You don't have any desire and not to be getting anything and all. You are doing it perfectly and you are trying to stay in that stage itself. You do not want to come down. That is modate. That is modate is the highest form of rejoicing. You are in such a happy stage, you don't want to come. That is what Swargalok. Not that, every night I am not able to sleep, I have got so many things, my heart is pricking and all, that is Naraka. But when you are having contentment, when you good night sleep, when you go to the bed, you got nothing, on your mind or head, that bothering you. I go to a complete blissful sleep. That is Swarga. That is the highest form of rejoice a man can sort of assume, will be able to sort of imagine with his body, mind, and intellect. It is beyond that. This is what, which is possible in the earth. That's what they are telling. With this only, we have said, in this mantra, once we have seen, he has come to the next mantra. Trinachiketa Tribertya Sandhim Trikarma Kritati Janma Mrityuhu Brahmagyam Devametyam Viditva Nichaya Ema Mungam Shantim Atyant Ameti Iti. This is what 1.1.17. This is the page number 22, same only. In this, when we have seen Trikarma, we have seen Janma Mrityu and all those things. In this, that Yajna, Dana, Tapa, which we concentrated on more. In Bhagavad Gita also, what they are telling is Yajna, Dana, Tapaha, Karmam na Tyajam, Karma Evat, Yajno, Danam, Yajnaiva Pavanani, Manishinam. See, even a person who has become a sannyasi, he has become a great Acharya Guru, he also has got Yajna, Dana, Tapa to be done. For them, they have to be constantly be giving the knowledge to the people at large. Maybe, through pravachanam, or they may be conducting, some sort of a pujas, yajnas. They have to get the people and try to tell them, what is the right way of living. As well as dana is not only vidya dana, they will have to give, feed the poor wherever, because feed the one, who can't afford, that they have to give because they can organize, they are capable of doing it. And tapa is, they are totally dedicated to, because like they have to get, because even the society should not go unregulated. Even, they can have, a lot of the marriages conducted. They may not be, they may be sannyasis. That's what Vaivahika Suktam also we talked about. Vivaha Suktam is one Suktam that is recited during the marriage. Itself is sort of a yajna. That is what the, why, because all the great people, get the marriages done, the mass marriages that is taking place now. And all those things, because society should be regulated. Society should not go astray. And there should be a sort of future generation coming in, because the people will get old, the new, the sort of, the crop will have to come, they will have to take over. This is a continuous process. So this is Yajna, Dana, Tapaha, because when it comes to, it doesn't leave any sort of segment of the society who don't have, who have got any exemption from that. They will have to do. Whether you are samsari, sannyasi, or anything else, you will have to do that. You can't simply be telling, I know all the knowledge. I've got Vedas, Upanishad, I know everything and all. I don't have to do anything. That is not possible at all. The Upanishad is very clear. Trishna Vichetavad. You will have to got to do your duty wherever you are, whatever you are. There is no exemption from that, and because karma you will have to do. Kruvate karmani yat pritaye sajanaha, because you will have to do that, which is going to be pleasing to all others in the society. Because you should not be doing anything, which is going to have an ill effect on some segment of the people, and some people are going to be happy about it. You are not supposed to be doing it. And you have to give the knowledge so that people are also trying to behave the same way. That is how society is perfection. Society will not be perfect, but society will be able to be regulate itself and come into a wonderful society to bring about the new crop of persons when they come about. It is only the dimension they will be able to carry forward. The yajna, dana, tapa has to be carried forward by your generations, your santatis. You are all, because our forefathers, whatever have done, we are carrying on. They did it in their own way with whatever comfort or whatever facility they had. Now we are doing it with whatever comfort and facility what we are able to afford. So this will be so, with the future generation also. So we should train them. We shouldn't give them everything. We should be help them. Brahmajam devamityam viditva. Brahmajam, because briefly we said, because Brahmajam in the one which we are able to understand from when we do Veda Dhyana, because for us, what is the Veda Dhyana? We may be doing Sandhya Vandana, and we may be getting some recital of some Vedas here and there, and all. When you do that, whatever, intuitively, what you are able to comprehend as who is the highest power, who is guiding us. Because when you get the intuition, when you are into some sort of a crossroad, when you are having some trouble, finally that power which brings you out of that, when you get some intuitive sort of advice, intuitive spark which comes about, that is, the Brahmajnam. That Brahmajnam comes not by, reading or going about, no mechanical thing is possible. It is internal process. It is specific to each one of us. As we, because trying to have because whatever we are doing, whatever you are reciting or whatever good thoughts you are reading, even you may be reading so many other philosophies, whatever you accumulated, but when you are into that, when you are able to get that spark, so that you are able to do, you are not conventionally doing what everyone else is doing. You are doing, look, in this process, I will have to do only this. See, that is a very difficult job. See, for instance, what is the job? Whatever we are doing, we may be telling, whatever we are doing it so perfectly well. You just imagine the job of a judge. A judge has to finally give a decision after hearing. Because a lot of cases, where witnesses are manipulated. I think, the witnesses finally, they change, their version. They also go against whatever, all those things are. In spite of it, the judge's job is so difficult. It was so wonderfully said by one of the sitting High Court judges of Delhi High Court. He said that truth is between the respondent and the petitioner. The judge is only trying to find which part of he is only groping which part of the truth is taken in the presence of the law. He doesn't know. He has to find out. He says truth will be known only to the petitioner and the respondent. The judge is a mere person who comes in the way, but he has been given the job of finding out what is the truth and all. So it's a very difficult job, because you may be producing document. In the court of law, documents and evidences are more important. But the truth may not always be coming about. That's why all our court of laws are considered only court of law, and they are not court of justice. Very often justice is being always, the miscarriage of justice takes place. The only miscarriage that takes place in the entire, the gamut of the human life is the justice. The miscarriages that takes place, maybe I think, when a person is about to deliver, the miscarriages, maybe there is a physical miscarriage. But otherwise, the miscarriages that take place is the miscarriage of justice, because non-availability of the truth. That's how the highest the sort of, all our courts as well as all our the government, what we say is satyameva jayate. That is correct. But na anrutam will have to accompany that. Satyam eva jayate na anrutam. the non-truth, which is not the incorrect, the fact should not be prevailing upon. But we couldn't ensure that. That's why we have taken out Na Anritam. We have kept only Satyameva Jayate. Satyameva Jayate is a motherhood statement. It's always Satyam should ever be Jayate. But if you really see, you can find hundreds of instances where Satyam has never won. Even Satyam has not been brought about also. Because the Satyam word itself has become some sort of a pejorative, because the recent past. But then, because Satyam and our Vedas are very clearly written about Satyam and Ritam. Ritam is the entire content of the Satyam, the real truth, the truth behind the truth. That is the Ritam. The Ritam is, which is a word used in all our Vedas. Let's come out. Brahmajnam is the one that we are finally coming up. Finally, when you are coming up, getting that intuitive, that power that is coming about, he is the Paramatman. It is called, finally, because Hari and Narayana and whoever is there, he is the one Brahmaja. Brahmaja is the one you are getting out of the entire your knowledge and intuition. Jnayam is the, finally you realize, the self-realization and God-realization. Self-realization is when you are able to get all the raga, dvesha, and when you don't have anything, desire and all, you have gone into the next dimension. God realization is when you get into everything and all, when you are finally able to get this intuitive advice, intuitive command, intuitive knowledge that comes about. When you are able to, because when you God in the sense, normally we take the whatever picture we see, Tirupati Balaji, or any other because Chidambaram, you take the immediately that knowledge comes body, mind and intellect, because we are having that. But finally when you do continuously the manana, shravana, manana and nididhyasana, you yourself will be getting the flash. It is like a lightning, it is a momentary, it is transient. So when you get that, that bliss is the real bliss. All the acharyas had that type of a bliss only. Whatever philosophy they have propositioned, they had that experience. That is why they are called Pujaniyaha. All these acharyas are Pujaniyaha. We may be knowing, our Bhashyas and, because Vedas and Upanishad and all, he may be a Pandita, but he is a Mananiya. He is to be respected. But the acharyas are the one who have experienced themselves and brought it into that. But only problem is they will not be able to implant the experience into you, because it is your sheer responsibility to do it yourself. Why Upanishad we are getting into, because all this explanation again and again is, it is, because what I have heard this, this is what Dach Swamiji said, this is what Velukudi has said, this is what Antaram Dikshithar has said. We can go on telling that. Why they have said, they have all brought it about so that, that impulse, gives you some spark in you. So you are able to get your own vision, your own intuition, your own sort of that spark comes into you, you are able to realize, because that will guide you to the highest level. You will not find any sort of obstruction in your way of life. They are bringing about, even the worst of the diseases has gone off, because by having this. In fact, next week, I will be taking up one suktam. This week I am taking Narayana Suktam. Next week we will take one Aushadhiya Suktam. One Aushadhiya Suktam is a very important Suktam, and as well, it is recited. See, the importance was being brought about one Acharya. See, all these Acharyas give a lot of importance to Vedas, because Vedas, because you got, all these Samhitas, Aranyakas, and then Brahmanas, Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and finally Vedanta, Upanishad. This is a broad classification, because some of the Upanishad comes in Samhita portion itself. Some of the Upanishad comes in Brahmana portion itself. But then collective thought of entire Sara of these things are being given Vedanta. That is why Vedanta is given importance, so that, without doing Yajna, Yaga and all, you are able to get the knowledge, whatever has been derived out of Yajna, Yaga and all. That is how finally we are getting it. So by doing Yajna, Yaga, why you are doing Yajna, Yaga, Yajna, Dana, Tapas, why you are doing only Chitta Shuddhi. When Chitta Shuddhi is there, then your finally Antakarana Shuddhi takes place because of Dana and Tapas. When Antakarana Shuddhi takes place, you become eligible to get that intuition and spark, the Brahmaja Jnayam. That knowledge, when it comes about, that is not something, because that's why when it comes, your avidya goes off. See, what we call Maya, Avidya and all, It goes off only when His grace is there. He decides, when you have to get. So you have to prepare yourself and become eligible for that. That's why the change will have to be brought in about by all of us by our own efforts. This is exactly this particular mantra. The Upanishad in general, that's what we are talking about. Brahmajam Devam Ityam. Devam here, Devam is the final one who creates Srishti Sthiti Samhara, who is one capable of creating this entire world. So whether you call it the Nirguna Brahman, the ultimate consciousness, or the Brahman, Icha Matre Prabhoho Sishte, because this is what we have seen in Mandukya Upanishad. Icha Matra, once he decides, let there be a earth, let there be earth. And let there be atmosphere, let there be a sea, let there be human beings, let there be. It is like the creation. But the creation takes place because who creates it? He gives that, he icha, once he decides, finally it is being created by Prakriti, Lakshmi. He gives, because she has got the full omnipotence to clear that. That's why, there was one Suktam. We have had the meditation called Ambarini Suktam. Ambarini Suktam is, she has got all the powers. She takes the powers of everyone. Aham Rudrebir Vasubis Sarama Mahaditya Rutavisva Devaihi. She becomes Rudra, she becomes Brahma, she becomes Vayu, everything together. Because she is capable of, because she is next only to Paramatma. So Prakriti, finally she creates that. So when you get Devam in the sense, because Devam is the one who controls, who gets even the Prakriti, she gets the final, derives the power from the Devam. That Devam is considered to be Hari. The Hari or Narayana. So that is exactly being brought about. And that Narayana, when he says, because when he is not only in, because Isha Vashyam Idagam Sarvam Yitkincha Jagatyam Jagat, in the sense, he is outside and inside also. When he is outside and inside, because what is the meaning? He is inside in our heart as well as he is everywhere there. He is the atomized form in our inside. When we say Padma Kosham Pratikasham Hidayam Napya Adhomukam, because there is an inverted lotus. Adhomukam is inverted. Adhomukam Santatam Silamastu Lambajake Jwal Tasyante Sushiram Sushmam. There is a very small, minute Sushiram Sushmam. In that place, Tasmin Sarvam Pratishtitam. That is the power when you are getting it. See, that's why when you take, finally the entire, the heart, they say, in the chakra, the point that is there and all, because the heart chakra, when it is called, the heart chakra, the point is the one where you finally get the entire power. When you are in a Susupta Sthana, you are finally taken over by that power. It completely makes you, forget that you are a father, mother, or anything like that. Power is there. That is where the Atma Rahita, because Atma Pradishtam is there. Whether you call it I am Atma, Brahma, or whatever it is called, Dvaita, Visishta Dvaita, and all, it is his place. Here, there, because that is why when it is created, Devam in the sense who is there everywhere inside, creating us as well as guiding. Chara, Achara, not only that, including, this. Insentients as well as animals, everything is doing it. The plants and all, they grow upwards. The animals and all, they go horizontally. They take the food and they go. At human being, we take food and grow downward. The mind goes upwards. Your chinta goes upwards. Your chitta goes upwards. Because your legs grow, that's how you get the height. You get the height because your legs have to grow and it has to hold the body. But for animal, it is not like that. It takes the food into the mouth and it horizontally grows. And it doesn't have to, because God has decided, he doesn't have to chitta and he doesn't have to go do yajna, dana, tapas and all. It's not meant for him. And plant, it has to give the dhana. See, because sasyamiva vidyate, sasyamiva jayate, in the same Upanishad, when we said, from the same Khan, when it matures and falls, the other new cons comes about, because it gives that concept, it will go on doing it. From there only, it goes to Parjanya. When the rain comes, it becomes a food and the food is taken by the human being. The human being get the energy, then the procreation takes place. That's how, it goes off. So everyone has been given a purpose because the human being, that's why Durlabham Manushya Janmana, when we said you only have got the power to get into the new dimensions. You will have to get into the new dimension, not only for you, because of all these things. Thavara Jangama for everything, for the entire benefit of the whole world. Yogatshemam in the sense, not only your kshemam. Yogatshemam is Lokatshemam. Yogatshemam, the real meaning is Ananyan Chintayanto Mam Yedana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiktanam Yogatshemam Mahamiham. Yogatshemam is LIC's buzzword. Yoga Kshemam in the sense, yoga is whatever good, let it come to me. That is yoga. That is how Patanjali has taken the yoga, whatever good that has to come by union of the mind as well as the highest power. Yoga is nothing but union. And Kshemam in the sense, whatever you have already got, because in so many births you might have accumulated so much of your knowledge, that has to be kept safe. It is available to you. Nothing goes waste. When you are taking everything and when you are accumulating and all, even when you are doing it and all, it never goes waste. In this birth as well as in any other birth it may be. We don't know that. That is Kshemam. Yoga Kshemam in the sense you are holding on whatever you already got and you are trying to get still more whatever you are getting it. For all this, that Deva Meetyam, because the medium is, because where you are singing the praise and getting the grace of him, his grace is required. Even, because the Shravana, Manana, they say even Shravana also you need the grace. For Manana also you need the grace. In most of the time, you possibly by mistake, you may be going to some place and they said there's some Upanyasam. You've gone with some elders, you have to sit with them. Maybe you got some urgent work, you are not able to get out. So what happens? By force you are sitting there. But in that process, some few words which fall into your ear, some of them may make an impact on you. So for that, God has given a grace to get that Shravana, at least hear that. Even though you have not taken an effort to go for that, you have done that. Sometimes, what will happen, whatever you heard, suddenly in some circumstances, I think this is what I heard. I think it seems to be true, when you are doing that, it's banana. And once you are doing it and once you start, then taking an interest and you are getting into this, even coming into this Upanishad session, whenever we are discussing and all, it's all God's grace. Because that's why, we are able to hear and get it and straight goes to our heart. And from there, we are able to do Nitidhyasana and try to find, in our own way, what is that, which this means and how we can take us ourselves into another dimension. Not only that, even the YouTube, so many people may be seeing, for them also it is like that. Whenever you see a YouTube or Vedas are being, how to recite Veda, pronunciation, how you have to do. Suresh, he is a great person, who is putting it, K.S. Suresh is putting it up. And when you listen to that, these are all, because grace only. Because till today, yesterday I couldn't do it. Today I am doing it. Why I am doing it? Okay, I thought I will be doing it. How this thought came? Because of his grace. Without the grace, we would never get it. Even the Maya, because it is Anadi, because it's there everywhere. Maya is nothing but God's grace. Maya is Maya Uddishta Pradishtinam. Because that is what God has created. He gives you the grace. Once you give the grace, you get that. This is exactly, this Brahmajyam Deva Meetyam. Because of that, you are getting from Viditva. Viditva is that you come to know of it. You come to realize, you get the bliss, once you know that, once you know a new thing, the happiness what you get, that is Viditva. Once you having come to know that, Nichaya, having realized, discriminated, having reflected, once you got it, it's going to stay with you and it is going to be a Kshemam. Yoga Kshemam, it's going to be part of your vault. You've got a vault, the vault of knowledge, it's going to be accumulated, it's going to be there and it's going to be taken forever. This birth or any other birth. That is why, see, when we say we have got so many births and all, births may come and go, solely same, it is there and all. But how you have to accumulate as and when the opportunity comes, that is what exactly, has been taken into this particular mantra. Devametyam viditva nichayayam shantim. When you are getting the highest bliss, atyantam, everlasting extreme. That Shanti is the Ananda. When you are finally getting the intuitive Deva menu, when you are finding power and all, that Ananda is inexplicable. That Ananda is more to be experienced than to be expressed. More to be experienced not by this body, mind and intellect. When it comes, that Ananda is totally different. So Paramanandam, when we say, because Paramanandam is it's a bit, when you are dealing with the Paramatma, that is the Anandam Paramanandam. So when you get that particular type of bliss, Atyantam, everlasting, it will never diminish, it will the quantity, because it will not be, because you are happy now as a human being, next moment something happens, it agitates us. Maybe it may not be unhappiness, because some I will have to react, some notice comes, I will have to take action onto that, or some call comes, I will have to comply with certain things. So it is not like that. Atyantam, it is thing. 80 goes to attain subtines. This is what exactly he says. Whatever it happens is in this earth, whatever is possible, finally you are trying to get into the highest power, the Brahmagya, when you know it, that is the power when you are going to get that. This is exactly this mantra says. And the next mantra, we will go into that. That is the, briefly I will recite that, and the next month, tomorrow we will see the rest of it. It's mantra number 18 in your page number 23, I presume. Yes, it is page number 23. Trinachiketat trayam etat viditva ya evam vidvan chinute nachiketam samrityu pashan purataha pranodya shaktadigi modate swargaloke. Shokadike modate swargaloke. This is what we have seen. In this, why he is telling that he throws off all the chain of death and everything and all. By doing this, once you have got that Brahmagyam and when you have got the intuition and all this Raga, Dvesha and all will never enter. Not only you don't have to have any specific effort to remove it, because it automatically goes off. So you are not going to get it, because like a teacher, if there are 40 students, for teacher all the 40 students are same. Because maybe, over a period of time, some of them think it's a favorite, is answering the question fast and all. A real teacher is the one, they will try to bring every student at par. It is like that, because once you are trying to get Trinachiketa, Trayobiditva, Trayam Yetat Viditva, Yetyevam, Vidvan Chinute, knowledgeable one performs the Nachiketa sacrifice. Nachiketa sacrifice, once you performs 3 times, it automatic, it goes off. Shokadike, you don't have any sort of a sorrow or whatever it is. Modate, because you get that same rejoicing, what they said. Swarge loke, that becomes the Swarga. Now, Mrityupashan Purataha Pranodya, because there is no Mrityupashan, Raga Dvesha, they are all the Mrityupashan. Yamapasa, what they say, Raga Dvesha, anxiety, and what will happen, and how am I to accumulate, because whatever having is not good enough for me, not for the future, all those agitation goes off. Why this goes up? Because you have performed Nachiketa thrice. So I will just give one small instance of the theme, how it happens at all. This is with regard to the Madhvacharya. He had a Shishya called Trivikrama Panditacharya. Trivikrama Panditacharya was earlier Advaitin, is a great scholar. He has come from a family of renowned scholars and renowned yogis. Yeah, he was having, a lot of, see, all the philosophers, all the great acharyas, they're having a philosophy. When they are constructing, they have given, some sort of assumptions and all, So when you are going into the depth of it, some of the assumptions and all, some people will try to find out, verify, whether validate and all. At that point of time, they will have doubts. That's how philosophical debates takes place. It is not a sort of unruly debate. It is a sort of a highest form of exposition of thought. Whatever human being is capable of, that is in all our debates and discussions in Veda times. And subsequently, we have got the great debates taken place between Shankaracharya and Mandala Mishra, and Madhvacharya with Trivikram Kanditacharya for 15 days. Shankaracharya and Mandala Mishra has taken place for a long time. How Mandala Mishra is a Mimamsika, a Nayayika. He is also a great scholar. We will also briefly see, how it has gone about. When these things takes place, because then the something comes out, because finally both of them, try to bring about something. Either, you try to agree, or either to agree with a conditional agreement. This is how it takes place. The pinnacle of Indian philosophical thoughts has grown like that. That is why Sanatana Dharma is still growing, because these thoughts are still floating, people are still debating. And, because even now discussions are taking place, mainly because, you can furtherance of the thoughts. There is no end to the thought. After all, because there is as long as human being has got a capacity to think, there is no end to the thought. It goes off like that. So on one particular occasion, he had a great debate with Madhvacharya, and finally he got convinced, with his sort of the clarifications, answers. He became some sort of a great devotee, and in the sense, he a great fan of Madhvacharya. One of the reasons how it happened was, his brother, one Shankara Pandita, because he's Trivikrama Panditacharya, his brother was Shankara Pandita. They were also Advaita scholars only. But the Shankara Pandita has earlier had occasion to meet Madhvacharya, and he has almost become a disciple of Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya gave him the responsibility of maintaining his library. He has written almost 37 Sarvamoola Grantha, it is there. And he has also written, and a lot of things, he was maintaining that entire library. The Trivikrama Panditacharya is brother, younger brother. So, through elder brother. So, though he was residing in the same house, he was not, willing to ask for, let me see the Granthas, before the debate. He was to debate with Madhvacharya. He thought it is better to see, his writings, so that once I understand his point of view, I will be able to debate with him better and all. So what did he did? And because when Shankara Pandita goes to sleep, he is again a voracious reader. He goes to sleep only by 12 o'clock and gets by 4 o'clock. So between 12 to 4, Trivikrama Panditacharya used to be awake and see, whatever has been written there, try to understand that so that he can go for the debate and all. Before his brother used to get up, he used to tie it down and keep it in place. This is what is happening and all. After that, because he had a discussion and finally he got finally convinced, he not only became a disciple, he is one of the fans of Madhvacharya. His son is the one who wrote the Madhva Vijayam. The autobiography of Madhvacharya was written by his son, Narayana Panditacharya. So once he was doing, because now then after the Udupi, the Krishna Vigraha was, that the temple is there, Madhvacharya was having established, he was doing puja every day and all. One day when he was doing the puja, normally, because there is one Dvadasa Stotram is there, which is spontaneous outflow by Madhvacharya when he was installing that Udupi Sri Krishna. That is always being recited during the Naivedyam. So even if whatever Naivedyam you keep, even if you don't keep a Naivedyam will happen once you recite that particular mantra. This Naivedyam, because there was, because during the puja, during the Naivedyam, they just have the curtain. And all, because the Dvadasa Stotram was to be recited. This Trivikrama Panditacharya was reciting once. Because normally once it is done and normally the Naivedyam is over, they used to give the Prasadam and all. That particular day, he was reciting once. It was not open because the Madhvacharya inside still doing the puja. Second time he recited, it was also didn't open. Third time, he recited, and the third time also it was. He was wondering what is happening, because 3 times, it's not Naivedyam. Normally we do once. We have done 3 times. Why it has not opened? Just out of curiosity. And he is, since it is very close to Madhvacharya and is almost like a younger brother to him, he took the liberty of taking out the curtain slowly and saw. He saw there was 3 Naivedyam which was happening. One is as in the form of Hanuman. It was Naivedyam was done to the Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. And the another one was, as the Bhima, it was being done to Sri Krishna. And Madhvacharya himself was doing the Naivedya to the Balakrishna, Udupi Balakrishna he was doing. Then he recited one famous, what we call is Hariva Yustuti. The 41 stanzas are there. And a very sort of it's a tongue twister, because if you, when it's not used to recite that, it's very, because it gives you the enough ability to get to the sort of a vairagya as well as once you recite that. So he recited, in praise of, all the 3 forms in which he was doing the Naivedya and all. It is because all Madhvas recite that, every day. Most of them, at least those who know that, at least if not, at least they hear, the cassette and all. When it was done, finally it was shown to Madhvacharya. He said, no, don't do that as it is, because you are giving my prize. Because like as Hanuman doing the puja to Rama and Bhima to Krishna and Madhva to Balakrishna, it should not be like that. So both of them, because at the beginning as well as the end, he composed one Narasimha Nakastuti. He said, the Narasimha Nakastuti has to be recited first. Because Narasimha, because the avatara, in the avatara itself is one of the most important avatara. And he said in Narasimha Nakastuti, Naka is only the, you were just nail, the tip of the nail. He gave a stotra on the tip of the nail of Narasimha Nakastuti, just to tell, see, you may be composing the entire Harivayu Stuti on me because of doing this one and three avataras. It's nowhere equivalent to even the fingertip of the Paramatma. So we have to become, we are nothing in front of him. Just to show that how small atomized we are, he said it has to be recited first, before reciting the Harivayu Stuti. And after reciting the Harivayu Stuti also, you have to do that. Because it is the kavacha. You should not be, because you may be admiring and all. Your admiration should end there because he is beyond everything. Even his fingertip nail is, because so big, none of them, can reach even a flash of it, a spot of it, a speck of it. So that's how we are given. Because this is exactly because three, when we said, three times, when you do it, because three times when you do manana of anything, any Vedas, any slokas, anything and all, fourth time you will find not only that, you will more or less accustomed to the entire sloka, you will be getting into the meaning, understanding of the entire sloka yourself. So knowing the meaning of the sloka and knowing the sort of internally understanding, getting the flash of it and reciting the sloka is something different. Why Anantaramadikshita, when he recites, when any sloka, when he does, Mahishasura-mardini, he made it very so popular. When he recites, why such a power has come? Because it is coming from his heart. And when you are listening, slow, it not only gets into your ear, it goes into your heart. You are able to get, because whether you know Sanskrit, whether you know meaning and all, whatever it is, finally you are able to feel it, because that is what finally it has to come about. This is what, this entire mantra also says. Further on to this and the next mantra onwards, we have got 11 more mantras to go. Maybe I think next 3 sessions, we will try to complete. Today I will try to stop with this, after having a break of 2 weeks, and we will go for a small meditation of Narayana Suktam. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi, Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll just take the meditation part of it, just a minute.